In Toronto, it's currently Pride Month. And so I want to tell you guys about my Pride experience. So I came out and was out and about in the LGBT community, involved in hookups and going to all ages gay clubs and things like that from about the age of about 15. And I started going to Toronto Pride every year starting about the age of 16. And so I want to testify about my experience there. So if you guys have seen my other videos, you might see this is a Christian channel and I'm a believer. But believe it or not, back when I was around 20 years old, so about 9 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, I'm someone who made out with another male in front of a street preacher at Yonge and Dundas, for those who know where that is. So I saw an online social media post that was saying something like, for those who are homophobic, I hope you have a really uncomfortable Pride. So I just want to respond to that first of all. My June will not be particularly uncomfortable. For me, as for a lot of Christians, it's not a thing of icky, ew. It's a thing of heaven or hell. I hear it being thrown out, you know, this term of homophobia, of, oh, you guys are just a bunch of close-minded, politically conservative Christians, you know, stuff like that. And I want to tell you guys, especially for myself as someone who stands on the biblical truth, that, you know, homosexuality is sin, that it is not like that. It is not this thing of ew, you know, it is not this thing of closed-mindedness. Yeah, again, just take myself for an example. I'm someone who grew up and started getting involved in the LGBT community, had these feelings from a really young age, and I got involved from a pretty young age, about 15 or so. So I'm definitely not someone who thinks, ew, icky. I'll tell you guys what I do think about, and definitely this is the Lord's heart, and that is that we definitely don't agree with it. We might even oppose it because we see the eternal things, there being a reality of heaven and hell. And as knowing that if people live in willful sin, which needs to be defined by God, not by us, not by, oh, I'm a pretty good person, so if there is a heaven, if there is a hell, I'm going to heaven. It doesn't work that way. But God defines what's good. God defines what's evil. Because when we try to create our own gods and our own moral systems that suits our culture or suits our feelings of what we feel is right and wrong, then it's always going to be biased. Some people listening might not have ears to hear. There's all sorts of arguments that I came up with to retort my grandpa, to speak to my grandpa and debate with my grandpa when he was standing on the biblical truth, and I was saying how I didn't agree with him, and I was saying why I felt he was wrong, and I was telling him why I felt like hurt by his position. I had all these logical arguments. So those who have ears to hear, let them hear what the Spirit is saying. Those who honestly desire the truth